Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, can't be singing like that and then you just say good morning.
Good morning.
Sisi ambaya tuna yo deep voice here, the men.
Habari yako?
Salama kabisa.
Fresh.
Niko, how are you?
Niko fiti.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's the 10th of June.
Kabisa.
It's 6:12.
Yeah.
We are here.
Let's just say quarter of the month is out.
Today is the 10th of June. There are 30 days in June. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except February.
Yes.
I don't know the rest of them.
Because it has 28 or 29.
Exactly. So we're already a third way through the month of June, just in case anybody was wondering what today's date is. And I have a lollipop.
Okay.
Isn't the video
What's the story?
behind this lollipop? Do we have time? Just know that I've been holding it for days. And I'm about to go down the slippery slope of popping the lollipop.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but time will tell. These are the things that we can look forward to. The wistful behaviors of a child, innocent,
Yes.
walking through, smelling the flowers, sucking on a lollipop, such is life.
Mambo telezi, mambo muhimu.
You what?
Silence in the room.
Silence in the room.
Yep.
Evelyn is wearing a Lady Diana dress today.
She looks really good.
She looks very nice. This is now the people shall
Must.
exercise their sovereignty by
Yes.
demanding that you be shown to them, even if you turn your back. We are still seeing you.
I'm still seeing you. In one or the other.
A very good morning to you. Mutanu's here also. And Mutanu and JB look like twins today. They're wearing the same thing. It's just they have not even noticed. I'm the one who has made it very well aware. But I hope everybody's doing well today and getting into it this morning. Karibuni sana, and thank you for joining us. We're into the middle of the week. It's hump day, and everything is just downhill from here. Downhill is not necessarily a bad thing. I hear from the people who climb mountains that when you're going down, you actually have a feeling of exhilaration. So it's hump day. So karibu sana, everybody, and we get into the show this morning. Thank you for being here. And as we get into these conversations, let me tell you what we'll be talking about. Meanwhile, El Nino is doing the thing over there in Tana.
Yeah, don't joke.
And it doesn't look too pretty from where we are sitting. And it's going to come... from what they say, the winds will blow west.
Yeah.
And so let's wait and see what's going to happen. But hopefully we are all prepared. In case anybody was wondering what happened yesterday, the president, in his absence, recommended and then established through the head of public service, one Sir Felix Koskei, that the ministries of education and tourism and wildlife should do a swap-it-up-de-do and swap their PSs. So now the PS for basic education is Ole Talau, has come from the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, and one Ambassador Julius Bitok has now gone to be the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Wildlife and Tourism. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just letting you know that is what is going on at the moment. I'm sure we'll have conversations around what that means, and perhaps if it was necessary and I think the words that Felix Koskei used in his circular were express with immediate and with the consent of the president, or rather the instruction of the president. Let's see how things will change. Meanwhile, schools continue to close. And interestingly enough, day schools as well. So Ninini Mbaya, address the issues. I think this is what's going to be on my t-shirts now. Address the issue. All right. Let's talk to you about what our conversations are going to look like today. He was the first Supreme Court Justice, rather the head of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, that recommended that Parliament be resolved because they had not met the threshold of duty, and said the only thing that we can do now is dissolve Parliament. Those were the recommendations that he made to the executive. It didn't happen. He's now a presidential aspirant. He wants to be the sixth president, Abi? Of the Republic of Kenya. Justice David Maraga, former Chief Justice, presidential aspirant 2027, Game Plan 27 is what we're talking about with him today. Arrest and fighting for a cause. He will join us in the hot seat at 7 o'clock, and we'll have conversations with him in terms of, okay, we've seen a lot of you say, well, he's the choice. Well, let's hear from him today what he's wrapping his mind around, and that's our conversation at 7 o'clock. And then at 8 o'clock, Gachagua's case, constitutionalism versus options. He made it very clear yesterday that we're going to fight this one to the end, and we're going to go to the appellate court and hear what the appellate court has to say about that. All right, we'll talk about it here in the room. Eric Morioki is an advocate, as he calls himself the political risk analyst. Dismas Mokua will join us at 8 o'clock, and we'll be looking into the Gachagua case. What does it mean? A lot of people talked about political, it's over. And he said, well, not until the fat lady sings, and she hasn't even started warming up the microphone. So let's wait and see what that's going to look like. That's our conversation at 8 o'clock. And then we're going to wrap things up this morning with a conversation around conservation and development, fighting for the park. In case you're wondering what all this hullabaloo was about, is that they wanted to put a road through the national park. Remember, one of the things that you can tout about Nairobi is that it is the only city in the world that has a national park running through it. Now, do you want to kind of take that away and have a road run through it? Nyagodhie Shege. You did what?
Have a 10-story parking.
Right. Nyagodhie Shege is a board chairperson of the Greenbelt Movement, and Ashe Vishwanath is the executive director of Just Act. They'll join us at 9 o'clock, and we'll talk about what exactly it means when you want to have this kind of development in a natural setting, which you've always been able to take pride in. So those are the conversations that we're going to have today. We'll talk with Maraga at 7. We will look into the Gachagua case at 8, and then we'll go into the national park at 9. That's what the Situation Room looks like today. Dennis Tolaseto is here. Njoko, we're getting into the show with you today. We can see you getting in. Our live streams are up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. Karibu Sana this morning. As we get into our conversations, our audience on KTN, good morning to you, and Karibu Sana for joining us in that manner. We're very, very grateful. We'll get into it in just a bit. And we'll say hello to you from wherever it is that you're tuned in from this morning. Drop a line, tell us where you are, and looking forward to welcoming you after you tell us what the Guineans are saying this morning.
And the proverb today comes from the Fula people of Guinea, right? And it says simply, when a mother has twins, she must sleep on her back.
It's true. Everybody must be seen. If you sleep on your side and you have one child, it is that one child that you see.
Yes.
But now if you want to have, and even if it's on, and sometimes, in fact, you see now the way my brain is working, a mother who has just delivered,
Yes.
it is extremely uncomfortable to sleep on your back.
Yes.
However, with 2 children, if you want to then be able to have a view of what's happening from both sides, you go through the uncomfortability so that you don't get into a difficult position later when you can't have a view of one of the children.
Yes.
So sometimes in life, you might have to go through a difficult situation in order to avert a bad situation.
Yes. So, if you want to treat everybody equally, regardless of how they think of you, whether they supported you or not, you must be available to hear them all, to make a decision that will benefit everybody equally. So as a mother with twins, what do you have? If the children need to suckle, what do you do? Sleep on your back.
Exactly.
They will have access to both the titties.
Exactly.
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
That's the way to look at it. All right. So, saying hello to you this morning as we get into it. Interesting to see what folks have to say about that this morning. Karibu Sana. And let's hear where it is that you tuned in from. I say a good, big welcome to you. Good morning from Mombasa. This is Peter Kiaria. You don't have to tear anyone down in order to build yourself up. Indeed. Robert Obogo says, good morning, tuning from Mombasa. Kimiak says, even as I Woman Crush Wednesday, because that's what WCW means, isn't it?
Yes.
On Ndu today, Kimiak, just a polite reminder that nothing good will come out of the Kenya Kwanzaa administration. Kimiak, good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Well, we hear you.
Yeah.
Definitely taking all of that into consideration. Kimia consistency, we love it. Margaret Wajo, he says, good morning all at SpiceFM Situation Room, tuning from Houston, Texas. Let's all enjoy our favorite show. Let's do it, Kabisa. Luhimbo is tuning this morning and it says, good morning, Duana Seto, tuning in from Dar. I am up and ready to be spiced. This place to be. Desmond Ortiz says, good morning. The grandchildren of Adam and Eve. Milisikia wakisemaje kuhusu hapo nje. You, the grandchildren of Adam and Eve. I don't know, outside there is okay. We've come from outside.
There is okay.
It's okay.
We just transferred water from one water boozer to another water boozer.
Or something. Bernard Nyaberi says, good morning, Palace family. The guy Bitok has failed in the ministries he's been put in, but the president seems to be resuscitating him. Yet we have able Kenyans, and here Mr. President's ready for the job. That's an interesting point. That if you've been able to bounce somebody around from place to place and there's been complaints, wouldn't the next best thing to be, excuse me, sir, come and cool your heels at home? But no, it's okay. We take you somewhere else. I don't know.
You know, there's a time I remember when President William Ruto called all the cabinet secretaries and PSs at State House and everybody signed a performance contract.
They did.
When I asked the question then, if you are to rank them, how would you rate each and every single cabinet secretary and PS, which would then determine whether you're going to keep them or let them go? So everything we keep seeing being done, is it just another PR exercise for us to see, finally we are putting in best practice, but best practice is just on paper?
I'm trying to think, and it's really difficult at this time to get an answer for the cabinet secretary that's actually, running things and doing it in a way that actually Kenyans have said, actually, this is what needs to happen. I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't had coffee yet, but maybe somebody can help.
There is the cabinet secretary. Is it the cabinet secretary or the PS? The guy who's in charge of water, because he's an engineer.
His name is... Good Lord, I know.
The gentleman.
Yes.
I've seen that gentleman whenever he goes to inspect projects being done, and he puts his fellow engineers to task.
Kidomi.
That gentleman.
Yes.
He's quiet, he's silent. But if you follow him pole, he knows his stuff.
His name is Kidomi, if I'm not wrong. Yes.
That one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We'll look for them because I think it's look, it's your job. You don't need anybody to clap you on the back, whatever. But it feels good every now and then when somebody recognizes what it is that you're doing and that you're actually getting it right. We may not be able to see it, and that's the thing about government. Truth be told, that one of the problems with government is that the communication is very poor. So even if you are doing stellar things and we can't see it, and maybe there's some underground work going on, talk about it. There's some people who shouting every day about doing nothing. So you can imagine if you're actually getting something done, tell us. Maybe we can't see the fruits yet, but at least let us know that things are in the works. And I think that those things can be celebrated regardless. A very good morning to you, Isaac Ale. He says, moving Bitok to tourism after relentless school unrest feels like promoting the captain from a leaking ferry to a cruise ship, calling it reform. The government offered us change of scenery, not answers. Right. Nashon Gogi says, good morning, Ndu and Dennis. I have no idea why the reshuffle happened. Well, if you can't address the issue, that's the thing. Address the issue and keep recycling your own friends. Technocrats who can be able to get things done, they are available in Kenya. Love from Arizona. You have educationalists, you have education experts. It's not too late in the game to actually bring somebody in who knows their nose from their elbow to get the thing done. You can.
Can you imagine if the government just swallowed the pride and even talks to former cabinet secretaries, former PSs who were there and asked them, hey, a guy, how do we handle this?
You have people. There are people in this country who are renowned educationalists and who actually can get the job done. I don't understand why when you see the thing burning, literally, you want to pour more petrol on it, whereby you can actually use a fire extinguisher and get somebody in there to actually streamline things. You can. I mean, it's really up to you. Mtuflani says, good morning to the princess, the gentleman and the squad. The only sad things on newspapers should be the obituaries. Naleo Mutu Asikanyage, we are looking at you. If it's here. Leo says, good morning. Hello, Princess Ndiana Seto. This will be an interesting World Cup where many African countries are banned or have restrictions about entering the US. They are in the World Cup. I've said it. Uncle Donald's. See, You cannot say that you're going to host, as one of the tripartite members, the World Cup if you're going to ban countries or refuse them to enter on restrictions or deny them visas.
Yeah.
It is counterintuitive. Hello, sir. Is anybody listening? Marco, those guys. You are actually hosting today, by the way, today, Mexico plays South Africa. I wonder who the rest of the Africans will be cheering for. Anyway, not today, tomorrow. So what are we saying? The greatest sporting activity on the planet is taking place, hosted by you and 2 other countries. And then you have travel bans, you have restrictions, and then you have visa denies. I don't understand. It just seems like 2 things that you want to be working in tandem. It might not be a very good show, and perhaps this is something that FIFA needs to have a little tete-a-tete with the United States about. Because it doesn't look too pretty right now.
It doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. All right, quickly saying hello to everybody. Christina A., good morning to you. The convo on school was directed towards me. Is it? Linda Gola said parents are obsessed with schools. I haven't been listening to my daughter because I'm obsessed with the school performance. I mean, that's a good thing to then be able to realize, Christina. We need to listen to what these guys are telling us, because when they speak and when they don't speak, they are communicating something.
Sure.
So for us to listen to what they're saying, it doesn't mean we spoil them, but it means that we're hearing what they're saying and that we can all work together to make this thing better, because where we are right now, it's not good. So for you to have made that realization, kudos to you, Christina. I hope you can actually do something about that. A very good morning to you. Eric Awar says, good morning, guys. Good morning. Karibu Sana. Raimtula Omar says, good morning from Nairobi, Kenya. Bitok transferred to tourism to go welcome visitors to Kenya. Well, that should be fun. Dr. Venvik says, good morning. Ndoto ya Wamunyoro kwa preso. Now back to the drawing board. Kweli politics is a dirty game. I'm telling you, and I don't know if there's a laundromat in the world that can clean it. Daniel Churo says, blessing dear Ndu Anaseto. It seems inconceivable, but the plan is actually to make sure Kenya has become a failed state. Is it? All this pain this regime is putting Kenyans through is by design. Well, it looks like it's a byproduct of a lot of selfishness. That's the truth. Wanda says, good morning, Ndu Anaseto from Toronto. Happy hump day to you too. You will get over it, and soon it'll be the weekend. Yeah. David Mangera says, good morning, SpiceFM. TSR, glad to be here. Nico Dani Kabisa, Ndu Deno, and the entire crew. Kazi Safi, Asante Sana. Daniel Chur says, by the way, yesterday's conversation about schools and our children was really eye-opening, truly eye-opening. Keep on inviting such guests, please. We'll do our best. Our producer is working through, that's for sure. Big up to you, by the way, Evelyn. If we don't say it enough, Kabisa, my sister. Yeah, we can't do this without you, that's for sure. Point of correction, Ndu, the first Chief Justice was Willie Mutunga. Nope, I said the first Chief Justice to have said Parliament needed to be dissolved.
Yes.
He is the first one, David Maraga. Maraga is the one who gave that. So he wasn't the first Chief Justice. He's the first one to have made that declaration.
Yeah.
I think that's the point that I was making, Kimiak, but I hear you. Samuel Seymour says, happy Wednesday, guys. Good morning to you. Ivan Omondi says, good morning, everybody. And Owen says, good morning, vibing duo tuning in from the Seychelles Island, Karibu Sana. And thank you for being here. Nyandika says, good morning. We are up early to look for money to pay taxes, to pay for GOK expenses. Isn't it? Yes. That guy is Eric Murray, the CS Water. Good morning. Yes. So I don't know if it's the CS or the PS you were talking about. So the CS is Eric Murray, but his PS is one Kizomin Jeru. That's his name.
Find out.
We can find out. But that's who we're looking at. Georgia Dimo says, we have people in the ministry, check the proposal archives. I think what you're trying to say is that there are people who can do the job. Okay, Linda Gola says, bonjour mes amis. Bitok will scare away our animals. Linda, good morning. Cradle of Mankind is tuning in this morning as well. And I think the systemic failures in governance is by design, playing into the globalist agenda puppeteers. There's a bigger angle to what's happening. I'm telling you. And I've been putting a lot of this stuff out on X, and I think that there is a design. Look, you can't, to keep you poor, to keep you uneducated, to keep you unaware, to keep you in debt, to keep you along the wheels of corruption. It is a design. I don't know how to preach it, but once we wake up, man, Africa Rising means something very different. So Cradle of Mankind, absolutely. Nyakundi Manuel says, good morning, do we change sewage from one tank to another, or do we throw it away? That's the question. So Wanda says, our Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow has said the Somali referee who was banned by the US is most welcome in our city. He can officiate a game and we are supporting Mexico against South Africa. Cindy, it seems that everybody's doing that. Yeah, so there was this little issue of somebody being banned by the referee being banned. And somebody said, how much? Come, I'll pay you.
Yeah.
So the thing is, can he travel to the US? No. But he's a referee, a FIFA-appointed referee, who then has been given games to officiate. So what happens to him? These are the questions.
How about FIFA just decides that each and every single other country that has been banned by America just goes to Canada, and those games that are supposed to be played in the US stop. You just move them to
This is
Canada.
the thing, but you've had 4+ years of planning.
Yeah.
By the time you made the bid, you knew that you were going to be able to do this. Some of these things you should have been sorting out for the long time. So you're going to play state sovereignty, or your precious America, and you don't want people to come.
Yeah.
But then you also want to host the greatest sporting activity on the planet. Choose one, my friend. At some point, choose a struggle, my friend, and stick with it. Pick a struggle and stick with it. Ambassador Beja, very good morning to you. Isakale is telling you, Linda, that whatever it is you're drinking, they want you to continue drinking it. Millie Simi says, Bitok finally meets Watok. What? Okay, not quite sure what that is. But a very good morning. I'm telling you guys, keep the smiles on our faces every morning as we get into this conversation. And we'll start off Kenya's bold newspaper this morning, and the headline on the Standard: absurdity. Absurdity is the commonality of being absurd. It is the group of schools for absurd.
Okay.
Exactly. It is the housing for the adjective. So the headline reads thusly: stinging critique. The High Court judgment that upheld Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment while awarding him 50 million shillings for violation of his right to a fair hearing has triggered a legal firestorm, pitting some of Kenya's prominent lawyers against the judiciary. Remember I told you how lawyers just came out?
Yep.
Didn't matter what term you're supporting. Lawyers came out and they were like, excuse me? And who are they pointing fingers at? The judiciary. Yes. The age-old maxim that justice must not only be done, but must also be seen to be done has taken center stage, with legal minds firing all cylinders, terming it absurd, dangerous, and a constitutional contradiction. They warn it would weaken protections for fundamental rights and embolden future abuses of power. It has also ignited debate over whether constitutional violations can be compensated with cash, while the tainted outcome remains intact. Because that's what it looks like. There was a constitutional miss here, but what we're going to do is we're going to give you some 50 million.
Go cool your heels in the corner.
So is that setting a precedent whereby you know that the Constitution could be violated, but then you can throw some money at it and get everybody to hush hush? Well, it would seem as though folks are saying, no, the Constitution is here. Anything else is down here. This is what lawyers are saying. Mm-hmm. So the judiciary needs to be they're not saying you need to be very careful. They're saying actually you need to stop it. That you can't throw cash at the problem and think that it's going to go away. Rigathi Gachagua, on the other hand, is saying, you guys thought that I was going to take this line down. Brother, no.
Yeah.
We'll look at that headline in just a minute. But protests against the US Ebola facility turns violent as Nanyuki blocked. One gentleman lost his life yesterday. He was shot. Nope. One gentleman was killed yesterday by the bullet of a police gun. And the folks in Nanyuki are saying no. We had the governor come out also yesterday and say, excuse me, we need to make sure that this thing is not going to violate rights. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at the violation of rights here, and that's fundamental, and we're saying no. That's all happening while global health bodies unveil a plan to fast-track a vaccine for the Ebola strain. This particular strain of Ebola that we're dealing with right now has no vaccine, okay?
Yep.
So that's what is a worrisome for a lot of people. Now, it's interesting because this is a story still on page 2. Victims of Sudan's RSF war crimes file case in Kenya. Hello?
Yep.
It might be bigger than you actually think. Victims of Sudan's RSF war crimes file case in Kenya. Okay. PS Bitok moved as state rules out school closure. This is on page 3. They're saying we're not closing schools, but what we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to move the guy. It's kind of like what the guys are saying happened in the court. So there was a violation of the Constitution. We're not going to say that they were wrong, we're just going to give you some cash. We're not going to close schools even though things are going belly up. And the fella who's supposed to be sorting out some of these issues in basic education, we're not going to put him to task. We're just going to move him over here.
That has been the practice in this republic. If you just remember that there would be a police officer who's killed people in one police station and would be transferred to another.
Him somewhere else.
Thinking you solved the situation.
Yeah. Address the issue. Sifuna seeks to nullify ODM removal move. That is still a hot case. It's still ongoing. It's still alive. Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna has asked the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal to declare the Orange Democratic Movement resolution removing him as Secretary General unlawful, arguing that both the decision and subsequent disciplinary action against him are legally flawed. And so that case, like I said, is still alive. He's still pushing that particular agenda to remain Secretary General, or rather to deem the process of his withdrawal as an illegality.
Yes.
Treasury's tax proposals that threaten to stall EV momentum, EV being electric vehicles, and apparently they're saying that you want to move the economy in one direction, but your tax proposal is actually threatening to bring it to a standstill.
Yeah.
How IMF pressure shaped Ruto's tax hikes. That the IMF, this is not your kitchen. In fact, it's not even your world, but somehow you are the chef with the spoon saying, add salt, remove pepper. That's what the IMF is.
Just read that
IMF
sub.
is in your kitchen.
Just read that sub. The lender has demanded Kenya to address its budget shortfall by introducing new taxes and reduce spending. One thing is being done. We are introducing new taxes but increasing spend.
Yeah. And somebody can actually come and tell you, somebody who doesn't even know how to make egusi soup is telling you to add minced meat.
Yes.
Do you understand? No. So they have to ask yourself the question continuously about what is it that you've given over to the IMF where they can come and tell you how to do it, when to do it. Do they tell that to France? Top legal minds fault absurd ruling one sets bad precedents. And of course, that's the story that comes from the headline. Now, this is where Gachagua says, gloves off, the fat lady ain't singing. And he has said that he has termed the court verdict on his removal as paradoxical.
Yep.
And basically, his people have said, appeal, sign me up. That's what we're doing. According to Gitile Naituli, Gachagua ruling exposes dangerous contradictions, and he's brought that up. Now, this is interesting. The ICC, you know that court? The International Criminal Court.
Yes.
You know the prosecutor?
Karim Khan.
His name is Karim Khan. You know what happened yesterday? They suspended him over sex abuse claims. They didn't ask him, excuse me, sir, did you do it? They didn't ask whoever, did this happen? No. The fact that there was a whiff, there was an aroma, there was something. They said, no. Before we even find out what happened, just be waiting over here first. Yes. Am I saying something to somebody?
Stop everything you're doing.
Just drop it. Just wait. Before we even start asking what happened where. Somebody has claimed. And because of the stain that a claim like that already leaves on your person and office, we're going to ask you to step aside for a moment. Hello? Saying something.
Yes.
Khan has repeatedly denied allegations of misconduct. Decision to suspend him was reached by a majority of the Bureau of the ASP. The International Criminal Court prosecutor Karim Khan has been suspended pending the final phase of a sexual misconduct investigation and a vote by the Assembly of State Parties. That's the ASP. So they've not even figured out whether he did it or not. But they're saying with these claims, and even with your deny, that we are saying, just wait a minute. This doesn't look good for yourself, for us as the ASP, or as the court. The Bureau of the ASP said it had chosen to escalate the matter to the court's highest governing body. Khan is a prominent British lawyer, has repeatedly denied the allegations, but they're saying, for now, just be waiting.
Yes.
Parents advised to register children with disabilities, please. It's necessary because there is a special care that they require.
True.
If you have children, and I'm just going to put this out here, if you have children with disability, you need to have them registered. This is something that the government is asking you to do. It is necessary to do because they do need extra special care. If they do not know they cannot apply this care. So
True.
please don't hide them in the houses.
If they do not know how to budget for them.
They can't budget for
because
it.
they can only budget based off the numbers that they have.
Yes.
So if the numbers are few and others have not been registered, you find others being left out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't hide them in the house. Government is saying bring them, register them so that we know how to take care of them. So please, in this one, please do. Youth urged to fight hate speech and promote peace ahead of polls. Another thing that I agree with. You can't curtail, you cannot manage the amount of vitriol and hate that comes out when you allow something like this to be. In the opinion pages of the Standard today, quite a number of people have a thing or two to say. Faith Odhiambo, the former LSK president, a constitutional democracy is built on the integrity of its processes, not merely its outcomes. We must ensure that the right to a fair hearing in Kenya remains substantive and not merely symbolic.
Yes.
Faith Wekesa also talks about the arrest of Maraga, who will join us in a short while, and the state of our democracy. Get yourself a copy of the Standard. A copy of the e-paper is also available online. Over to you, sir.
So let's go to the Daily Nation. And Daily Nation, the headline there is Gachagua's defiant. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has vowed to fight the High Court decision that upheld his impeachment, even as he announced a 45-day political conclave starting next week to come up with a single opposition candidate to face President William Ruto in the 2027 poll. So he's saying, even as I explore the appeal mechanism, I'm going to take a break. When I come back, perhaps I will be giving you guys the presidential candidate to go ahead with President William Ruto in 2027. Now, fresh queries over Kenya's Ebola test. The Ministry of Health could be declaring individuals tested for Ebola negative and releasing them back into the population before the lapse of the mandatory 21-day incubation period. You know what that means? We do not know exactly who is clear of Ebola and who is not, because we are releasing them to the public before the 21-day incubation and quarantine that should take place. Worry? You must be. Now, congestion, hunger, peer pressure, the troubles in our schools, in our public schools now, a wave of student unrest across the country has left schools counting losses, families mourning deaths, and education stakeholders warning of a deeper crisis. You know what needs to happen? Fix the problem.
Address the
issue. Once you address the issue, you'll find these cases reducing and actually ending. More pain for patients as SHA system outage enters day 4.
Sorry?
Yes.
No, I didn't hear you.
More pain for patients as SHA system outage enters day 4.
4 days of SHA
4
outage.
days,
All
yes.
right.
So the Social Health Authority's platform went down Sunday, and with it, the promise that no Kenyan would be denied care because of inability to pay.
Okay.
Now I know why.
When you went to hospital?
It did not work.
All right.
It has never worked for me. Yes. Now, puzzle of tested individuals declared Ebola free before mandatory 21-day. That is on page 2. And in page 3, Nanyuki protesters arrested after day-long demos against planned quarantine facility. Remember, there is a court order that stops the construction of that quarantine facility.
Yep.
However, there are reports that you're getting that the construction is ongoing. The United States as well has said they are hoping to get into an agreement with the government of Kenya and that the issues would be resolved. And Gachagua in page 4 says, down but not out. Defiant Gachagua plans retreat to chart way forward for 2027. In page 6, judgment doesn't diminish Gachagua's influence in Mount Kenya region, his allies say. Now, former Deputy President's backers say they will work to ensure region does not suffer vote apathy in the 2027 elections. Many have said that decision perhaps is denting Gachagua's political influence in the region, because many are looking at him with impeachment being upheld, then him holding public office stops being a reality.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ruto drums up EU support for trade and investment. There's a question that we were asked yesterday. There is an agreement that I think President Uhuru Kenyatta got into, EU-Kenya agreement. Where are we with that? We're signing new deals, but you're not looking at the progress of already existing deals and agreements that have been there before. So what exactly are we doing? Launching and counter-launching. Counties to receive 428 billion shillings as deadlock on crucial bill ends. So there's that as well. Counties want their money. Time is coming to an end. And now, new malaria prevention campaign in Kakuma refugee camp is ongoing. That is in page 8 and in page 9. Little food, cramped spaces, rising frustration is the trouble in schools. Can I repeat?
Say it again.
Little food, so they're talking about portions. Cramped spaces, overcrowding, rising frustration, the trouble in schools. If you address this, perhaps you'll see comfortable children.
Yeah. Address the issues.
Address the issues. Address the issues. Address the issues. Now, bodies of 16 Utumishi fire victims to be released on Friday. So amount 200,000 is amount each family will receive to support burial preparations alongside houses and transport, including 14-seater matatu to ferry relatives to the memorial venue. Many families have said, stop it. Give us our children to go bury them so that we can start the healing process early. That memorial service doesn't make sense to us.
Okay.
So questions of a stalled probe into 6.3 billion shillings diverted e-citizen funds. So records show witnesses were granted additional time after they reportedly asked for more time to prepare the submissions. So the audit flagged irregular diversion of funds, but a parliamentary inquiry has stalled. So 6.3 billion shillings were diverted from e-citizen. There is a matter in court. However, the parliamentary inquiry into how 6.3 billion shillings allegedly got lost,
As is not going on.
that is our money. That exercise has stalled.
Why has it stalled?
So
There's
you're
no
told
quorum?
Parliament's probe into the alleged unauthorized diversion of 6.3 billion shillings in e-citizen revenue into an Equity Bank account has stalled weeks after the Auditor General flagged the irregular transaction and lawmakers initially demanded accountability. However, the inquiry by the National Assembly Public Accounts Committee has since gone quiet after members backtracked on planned hearings into the matter.
Okay.
Need I add more?
Breathe, child of God. Because that money is still missing.
Yep.
Quote unquote missing.
Missing.
It's gone into an equity account. Has that money been returned to e-citizen?
Yep.
No. You want to find out where it went so that perhaps you can hold somebody culpable? Yes.
Yes.
Have you gone ahead and done that? No.
No.
So why? This is part of what you're supposed to be doing. Why would you not want to find out how much is the money we're talking about?
6.3 billion.
6.3 billion shillings. Perhaps. I don't know.
Because
Remember that with 4 billion shillings, with 4 billion shillings, you can build in every constituent, in every county, 85 classrooms. Every county in this country could get 85 classrooms with 4 billion shillings. 4 billion. This one I'm talking about 6 point something billion. And nobody is any bothered about how you can actually retrieve the money, hold somebody accountable.
Yep.
No.
Remember, the Auditor General has done her job, flagged the problem and submitted the report to the National Assembly, who are supposed then to proceed with that matter and inquire what really happened so that justice can be delivered to the people of Kenya. Kenyans, please look at the people you voted in and ask them what their role is in that house.
I'm tired tomorrow. Tomorrow.
You're tired tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think on that note, let's look at the Star.
Opposition and lawyers poke holes in the Rigathi ouster verdict because the lawyers, I'm going to stick on the lawyers here.
Yep.
Because the Wakilis are saying, the Wakili nation is saying, hello, what kind of precedent are you setting with this? And they all seem to be speaking the same language when they're saying, nah, guys, the Constitution is the one that we're supposed to be following. And if you're supposed to be following it to the letter, but that you see that, okay, this hole doesn't really matter. Guess what? A little hole is going to get into a bigger hole. Remember that song that Harry Belafonte sang? There's a hole in my bucket, dear Eliza, there's a hole in my bucket, dear Eliza, a hole. What did Eliza say to Uncle John? Henry? Well, fix it, dear Henry, fix the hole. Come on.
In this case, we're telling you, please dig deeper. Dear Henry, dig deeper. Yeah.
Flooding hits Tana again as El Nino looms. And there's pictures there. I don't know if we can zoom into it, but that's what's happening in parts of the country, that people are actually taking boats from point A to point B. Houses are submerged and people are having to walk through shin-length water already. Kenya Red Cross personnel rescue residents after devastating flood swept through Tarasa, I beg your pardon, in Tana Delta sub-counties in Tana River County. The floods, which have affected the region for more than a month, have submerged villages, schools and health facilities. So you want to ask your question, how are children going to school? How are the sick getting care?
A month.
Disrupting livelihoods and essential services across the county. A month. This has been going on for a month. All right, big read. Inside the plan to turn around Kenya Airways. You want to look into that because there is Bonakitonyi who's giving a lot of information about what's going to happen. The design of the proposed new JKA is actually beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
If it can actually come to fruition, it would be great.
There are also reports that KQ wants to run a certain national airline in a different country. I don't know.
Finish this one first now.
Really?
Fix this one. Do you see the problem? We seem to have this. Fix it.
Restore the pride of Africa.
Yeah. More than 70 schools are probably looking at 100 closed. Students sent home following unrest, and now we're having day schools joining in here. Seems to be an issue. In case you were looking for the president, he is away. I think he's come back today, if I'm not wrong. President William Ruto and Norwegian Finance Minister Jens Stoltenberg on government guest house in Oslo yesterday. Ruto overseas trips bring in billions in investment, says spokesman Hussein. This is a good thing. And I think we saw Hussein in his statement the other day on X step a little bit outside of the ordinary. And he was like saying, oye, Belgium, oye, because the billions from Belgium are coming in. The president is busy. Kenyans push for strict penalties in importation of bombs, tear gas. Yeah. You have to have a little bit extra bucks there if you're going to use it for something. Let's know what exactly you're using it for. And it's got to be solid. You pay a little bit extra for it, is what they're saying. Lake Victoria on alert as leaders now push for Ebola measures. They're saying, okay, it's possible that we're going to have a lot of people crossing over. So you need to be very, very careful in terms of screening there. Officials blame domestic conflict for school unrest. I don't think there is one reason. I think there is a plethora of reasons as to why the school unrest is now a little bit worse than it has been. But it's still the second term. And I think that some of the issues have been there for 30 years. I believe that there are new issues also with time. But I think that there are many issues as to why there's school arrest. But guess what? They are not going to go away because you've opened the window. You have to deal with the issues. If children across the country are complaining about food, it's not because they are bored. If there is overcrowding, there's an issue. If teachers are not well equipped, there's an issue.
If capitation doesn't
go to schools, there's an issue. And let's not fool ourselves to think for a minute that teachers don't let their frustrations be known to students. Let's not deceive ourselves that this is an ecosystem of learning and everybody talks about what they're going through. So don't just think that it is children who have issues and that's why there's school unrest. That these issues are being transferred also in terms of letting the public know that there's a problem. Teachers use students a lot as well. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's happening. Those are the issues. We're looking into them this morning. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.